A guide to pre-crisis planning. Based on event policy, the company provides the plan to pre-crisis and the plan for recovering from the event that involving electrical system outage. The company aware of the importance of the power losses, so it provides a system that can restore the power, and it should be the most critical first. There are 5 steps in how to develop a pre-crisis response program. 1. Obtain a qualified first response service provider. 2. Perform pre-crisis audits. 3. Consider adding local electrical power generation or temporary power sources for critical area of operation. 4. Identification sources of equipment, decommission and life extension and replacement with full manufacturing capabilities. 5. Develop a plan for survival and support accommodation for your crisis response team.
Definitions of tsunami. Tsunami, also known as earthquake sea wave, are a series of enormous waves created by an underwater disturbance such as an earthquake, landslides, volcanic eruptions, and meteorite. A tsunami can move hundreds of miles per hour in the open oceans and smash into the land with waves as high as 100 feet or more. Assessment of situations. First one is the sea level drop abnormally, which sea water usually take time to reduce level of the coast 60 meters, about 6 hours. But if there are a tsunami, the water may drop from 100 to 200 meters shores in just a minute. The second, the wave from a large wall, which sea wave usually don't look like a long wall about 40 to 120 centimeters in each wave. When the wave affect with the coast, it will be disintegrate, but the tsunami will have the appearance of the bigger wall. That closer the coast, it will make more damage. The second, the animal is abnormal behavior. Normally, all animals can perceive wave better than human. So, before the earthquake or tsunami, the animal some kind of nervousness or deep sea fish swimming in the water or dead. And the last is the tsunami warning system. If there are an earthquake in the right area, that conditional classy violence that can cause thunderstorm, the Pacific Tsunami Warning Center or PTWC will monitor the water level to see the formation of wave at sea. If found to be high damage level, it will sound the notify to others for preparing the tsunami.
Disaster risk assessment is a qualitative or quantitative approach to determine the nature and extent of disaster risk by analyzing potential hazard and evaluating exist conditions of exposure and vulnerability that together could harm people, property, service, livelihood, and environment, on which the implementation of tsunami risk assessment, including the effectiveness of mitigation, will be the practical outcome of the study. Risk map can be used for both tsunami evacuation routes and tsunami evacuation building setting. In order to create tsunami risk map, it is necessary for assessing the vulnerability areas due to tsunami in which the physical and social parameters of vulnerability are needed. For the tsunami procedure, make a disaster supply kit and have emergency plan. Plan to escape route from the race course, if possible peak areas 100 feet above sea level or go as far as 2 miles inland, away from the coastline. Practice evacuation. Tourists or outside persons should get familiar with the evacuation information. Everyone should know community's warning system and disaster plans, including evacuation routes. Everyone stay away from the beach.
Warning system. We are set up a tsunami warning system or TWS which is used to detect tsunami in advance and issue the warning to prevent loss of life and damage to property. It is made up of two equally important components, a network of sensors to detect tsunami and a communication infrastructure to issue timely alarm to permit evacuation of the coastal area. When the system operating, seismic alerts are used to indicate the watches and warning. Then data from observed sea level high are used to verify the existence of a tsunami. The organization responsibility, Thailand now has the best warning system in Southeast Asia that installed by the National Disaster Warning Center or NDWC.
When the tsunami occurred, the official had to evacuate people to the safe area by evacuating at high hill, where the fighting did not reach, or following the government route, and should notify the tourists to get away from the coast as much as possible. Then wait until it's confirmed that the situation is safe, so that immigrants can be taken to a safe place for further assistance.
After the organization suffered a tsunami disaster, the organization will immediately contact the Miller Foundation for assistance, which the foundation that is a Tsunami Volunteer Center, which has been in collaboration with the Thai Health Promotion Foundation. The center personnel will have experience in helping the victims of the disaster, able to quickly and accurately help those who have been injured or have been damaged.
Our organization will notify the people that the tsunami is a natural disaster. The organization has made every effort to announce or send alarm to people and provide them with evacuation sites. The organization mourned the incident because it had killed people, injured people, and damaged their homes. If there is a future disaster, we will clearly inform the public and recommend a warning.
Let's move on to pre-crisis assessments, as the organization has identified both pre-crisis risk and ways to mitigate vulnerability in the event of disaster, including anticipating the damage that will follow after a crisis. These processes allow our organization to assess the environment and potential financial implications of the loss of property and resources, but it's still unable to deal with the crisis effectively. Therefore, our organization replaced the existing system, which called Tsunami Warning System, in order to enhance the ability to deal with disaster more effectively. We have switched to Deep Ocean Assessment and Reporting Tsunami, or we call that system, which this system will monitor, detects, and measures the water level and report on the tsunami. It's a system that many countries around the world are at risk of this crisis except.
Managers have to meet and communicate with the crisis management team to discuss and follow up on organizational plan to tackle the crisis. Duties of the personnel in organization. We have divided the personnel into departments to carry out the responsibility of each department, divided as follows. 1. Planning department, responsible for planning against the crisis, including anticipating the impacts and damage to organization that will follow.
The second crisis assessment department is served to assess the plan that we will use to cope with crisis, that we can cope or not. If find a bug, personnel in this department will fix it and reduce the vulnerability. The third handling department acts as a coping agent and fixing crisis. The organization must train employees to be familiar with the situation that may arise. The fourth public relationship management department acts as a contact with people outside the organization such as journalists, shareholders, and stakeholders to make these people aware of the situation of the organization.